Scott, we appreciate you being on. And uh, uh, here's the thing I want to ask you, as you know, already know. I've never seen a situation in all the years I watched you play and how good you were and how good the teams were, where you have a person that won helped win the national championship for you. Um, Maybe not be as skilled in some areas as people would like for him to be, but still was a pretty darn good leader according to the head coach. And that is up for discussion after spring training is over. Give your I think you're the best one to have on. Give your not evaluation, but your thoughts about exactly what direction that could go, it might go, or what in that situation.
Well, Webb, I certainly agree with you. The character of Jalen Hurd, he is a super young man, great athlete, a great leader. All those attributes are undeniable, and no argument with those at all. I think what we're really talking about here is not so much the personalities of the quarterbacks as it is the styles. I think that Nick has made a decision to move into more of a downfield passing style, and what's debatable here is, will Jalen be able to master that style under Dan Enos' quarterback coaching? We know that Tua, we know he's already mostly there. The question is, will Jalen be able to get there?
Will they take spring training and come out of there? And if I go into the office as one of those players and I say to him, where do I stand right now? Am I going to get an answer that you're either going to be starting or not starting?
I don't know that we'll come out of spring training with that kind of answer because this is a work in progress. The reason I think Coach Saban decided to bring in Dan Enos is we know what kind of job he did with those two Arkansas brothers. I think the Allen brothers.
Yeah.
He really took guys that were sort of mediocre quarterbacks and really made good quarterbacks out of them, both of them. One of them, I think, was one completion from beating Alabama, and Saban said that was one of his best defenses that he almost beat. So I think what he's going to do, being Enos, is he's going to start coaching up Jalen on his downfield passing. Of course, he's also going to take Tua and try to take him to the next level. And let's see how that goes going into August and 2 days of next season, or this upcoming season.
Okay, Barry.
We're talking with Scott Hunter. I think, Scott, you've been on a lot of teams at Alabama in the pros, and maybe I'll equate this back to the basketball team. But really, this is any team. You have got to have leadership in the locker room from players. I think Jalen Hurts provides a lot of leadership, maybe by the way he works. I hear the things that he said at Mississippi State when they were down. He says, hey, get on my back. I'm fixed to take us. Come with me or get out of the way. And I don't see that with Alabama basketball. I guess I wanted to ask you, who's been in a lot of locker rooms, that's extremely important, isn't it, to have leadership, not the coaches, but with the players to get guys going during tough times. How important is that?
Oh, absolutely. Coaches can't lead. I mean, they can identify leaders and try to encourage them, but leaders have to be leaders, and they've got to step up. And Jalen Hurts is the leader. I guess going back to what I previously said, this is not a debate on his leadership style. He's the kind of guy you'd want running, go to war with. But it's about the style that they're going to be trying to accomplish this upcoming season, and that's using those outstanding wide receivers they have and having a more consistent downfield passing style.
Let me ask you about Tua. He came in, he played great. I don't know how much preparation Georgia really did for him because, he played some. But let's say he is the starter next year, and as he starts going through the season, I don't think the fans maybe understand the game will get more difficult once you get more tape on guys, and the coaches really scout you which way you like to go. Will it be tougher for him once he gets scouted?
Absolutely. It's like a chess game. Defensive coordinators watch what quarterbacks do that they're going to be facing this upcoming season, and they start preparing for them. They do this in the NFL, and now more so in college. So he'll see that. And what's critical to Tua is he needs to keep getting better from where he is right now. A friend of mine, June Jones, that played with me at the Atlanta Falcons, went out to St. Louis High School in Honolulu, and the athletic director and also the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. And he coached Tua and his brother. And so I understand why Tua is so adept at reading downfield coverages and getting rid of the ball quickly. Now the case is, under Dan Enos' tutelage, how much better will he get?
Yep, Dab.
It's hard for me to. I listened to. I was around all the football coaches. I hung around Coach Bryant's meetings. I hung around all of them. I was there 32 years, and so the only thing I ever heard, especially from Perkins, was that if you got two quarterbacks, you got none. I always heard that. If you got two quarterbacks, you got zero. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I assume it is, because what they're saying to you is that one of them can't take charge because he's looking over his shoulder about the other one. Mm-hmm. Is that the right statement? I guess I'm saying to you, Scott, can these guys share the quarterback duties? You probably going to say, well, of course they can't.
No, I never have believed in that. I think you're right about that. If you got two equal quarterbacks and one of them cannot separate himself from the other, and you try to play both of them, in this case, you got sort of two different styles of quarterbacks. The difficulty in preparing week to week your offense to play on Saturday with two different styles of quarterbacks is, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to have a guy that's a starter, but we all know from years in the NFL when Earl Morrall came in for in Miami's situation when Bob Greasy got hurt, when the starting quarterback gets hurt, the most important player on your team at that point is your backup quarterback. So you better have one that's good enough to play and can get the ball downfield and over the goal line.
Right.
Scott, we're talking with Scott Hunter, and I think you said it earlier. Nick Saban's way has always been to really not ever name a starter that they until they take the field the first game. Maybe this is a unique situation with these two guys, but I think Nick Saban's a creature of habit. I don't see him naming a starter until literally maybe the players may know, but not to the public. I think he's going to keep that competition open throughout the summer. He likes to do that to keep kids working hard. Do you see any different there? What he'll do this year?
No, you hit it right on the head. The quarterback job is not like linebacker or wide receiver or center. Well, you pretty much in spring training and by August, you pretty much know who those guys or the starters are going to be at those positions. The quarterback position is the one job on the field that's not won in practice. It's won or lost in a game. And you can name a starter, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be the starter after the first game if he can't get out there and perform. So that's how I won the game or job. Was, the other guy just didn't have a good game, and Coach Bryant put me in that first game in Birmingham against Virginia Tech, and I won the job.
Yep. That.
Would it be, and you probably don't want to answer this one, would it be in his best interest, Jalen Hurts, to leave if he saw he wasn't going to be the starter?
Well, again, that's a good question, Whip. I think it depends on the progress he makes in the downfield passing game this spring under, again, Dan Enos' tutelage of him, and into August. If he starts really on a curve, mastering this downfield passing game with reading coverages and looking off defensive backs and throwing to spots rather than waiting on the receiver to get open and then trying to throw to him, if he starts to master all that stuff, then he'll be fine. If he doesn't master it, he's probably not going to be a starter in a downfield passing scheme.
Well, the thing that you get is that John Q. Fan doesn't understand what you guys went through. John Q. Fan is quick to criticize me coaching, you playing, people, and they don't really understand the difficulty of if you've got a deficiency in one part of the game, it takes a lot of work to get that corrected, whether he doesn't have the ability to throw it there when the guy's open, or he has the ability, but he doesn't have the eye contact. It's difficult for kids like you were, and like kids are now to have to listen to all that baloney that goes through by fans not realizing how difficult it is to play that particular position.
Yeah, and you're so right, William. When you take the snap from center, whether you're back in the spread, the shotgun, what are you going to call it, or under center, at about 1.6 to 1.7 seconds, your decision has to be made. And then about 2.3 to 2.5, the ball has to be out of your hand going somewhere. And the question is how good is a quarterback at doing all that to be a passer? A lot of guys, as you know, can throw a ball through a car wash without getting it wet. Yeah. Big deal. Can they have it there on rhythm and with anticipation?
Yeah. Yes. Phil Savage has said at some point in time, I don't know when, on our show, I look at Jalen as a football player, not as a quarterback. What kind of football player is he? And that kind of stuck in at that particular time. Jalen had the job, and Tua wasn't in the picture. But can he play somewhere else as a football player?
Well, I think that's a good point. It's speculation. Like I say, before Dan Enos was hired, I was speculating that he might be moved to like an all-purpose running back or H-back or something of that nature just to get him on the field as an athlete. But now, going back to what Coach Saban's decided to do with hiring a dedicated quarterback coach who won't be trying to game plan and scheme to call plays on Saturday, but will be tuteling those quarterbacks. I think now he's decided that he's going to go with the downfield passing game, and he's hired somebody to come in here and take these guys to the next level. So I'm kind of being repetitive here, but let's see how Jalen does with him coaching.
Well, Tua's just one interception from being criticized. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Tua, he's just one interception from being criticized. They'll jump on his fanny, but the coaches overcome that. Yeah.
But I think Tua's got he's a bit of a natural the way he throws the ball. He's got great anticipation and great accuracy, and he's got good arm strength. And he apparently has got a good attitude because he laughs off like that interception and that sack he took before he threw the touchdown. He came right back the next throw and made a great throw. So he's got all the things that he needs to be a good, even a great downfield passer.
Yeah. One other thing, Fulberry says, if I don't say it now, I forget. No left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL. Unusual.
I hadn't even thought about it. Kenny was pretty good left-handed quarterback, and
not anymore. There's no more. None of them.
I really hadn't thought about that. I mean, the ball spins different than the other right-handed quarterback, but I really don't know why that would be.
I don't know.
Are you sure about that? You sure?
I am absolutely 100% sure.
There's no left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL.
I will say it one more time.
James, look that up. All right, Scott, last question before we let you go. What can Avery Johnson do to fix this basketball team? Everybody's wanting us to tell them. I don't know what to tell them. Can you help us?
That was frustrating last night. I really thought we'd take Florida.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question I give to Wim because as Wim told me one time, he said, Scott, you don't care enough about basketball. I said, Wim, I may not care about basketball in total, but I care about Alabama basketball. So I'll ask Wim that one.
Yeah. Well, everybody's calling us to answer, and we don't have the answer. So sounds like you don't either. So
thanks, Scott. Hey, that's good stuff. I appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank
Wim.
you.
Glad to join.